One of the worst things you can do in this world is to lose yourself trying to gain the love of someone who will never see you in the way you see them. One of the worst things you can do in this world is to lose yourself trying to prove that you're worthy, trying to prove that you're valuable, trying to prove that you're someone that is deserving of love to someone who will never truly see your value and who will never love you in the way that you desire for them to love you. And very often, it's more so the idea of the person that we desire, or more so what we believe, quote unquote, winning them over would mean to us, right? A lot of us believe that winning them over, gaining their love, gaining their affection, gaining their validation would finally mean that we're worth something, would finally mean that we're worthy of love, right? And that mindset in itself, whether conscious or unconscious, it is ridiculous. And not only is it ridiculous, but it is a complete disrespect to your intrinsic value. See, here's the thing, right? No one can determine your value but you. No one has the power to say whether or not you're valuable but you, right? And very often we go out into the world, right? And we try to use the acceptance and the love of others to fill a void that is missing within us, to fill an empty space that is the void within us, right? And we're looking for our self-love in the wrong place. The truth is that only you can give yourself the love that you need. Only you can give to yourself whatever it is that you need. And this is why I talk so much about becoming your own source, right? Giving to yourself whatever it is that you expect or desire from this world. Giving to yourself the validation that you seek. Giving yourself the acceptance that you seek. Giving yourself the love that you seek from this world, right? You don't need their love. You need your love. You don't need their acceptance. You need your acceptance. You don't need their validation. You need your validation. And as long as you go out into this world trying to use the acceptance of someone else to fill the void that is missing within you, you're always going to be unfulfilled. You're always going to be unhappy. You're always going to be a puppet to someone else, right? A lot of us in this world, right, we jump from relationship to relationship, situation to situationship, right? And we believe that something external is going to fill that void within us internally, right? And it doesn't work like that, right? No one can fill that space that is missing within you, right? Your love is the only thing that can fill that space. No one's acceptance can bring you to a place in which you finally accept yourself. It's impossible. Some of us have lost touch with who we truly are because we spend so much time trying to mold ourselves and bend ourselves, into what we believe that person or the people that we desire, want from us, right? A lot of us, we've completely lost touch with who we are because we've been pretending to be someone else for so long just to win over someone else's acceptance and love and validation, right? That's ridiculous. You didn't come into this world to forsake who you are just to be accepted. You came into this world to walk in your light. You came into this world to walk in your power. You came into this world to walk in your authenticity and your love. How long are you going to forsake yourself just so you can be accepted by someone who will never truly see your value? You're wasting your time, right? You're wasting your precious time on this earth. You have to understand that you are the only person that can give yourself what it is that you need. The moment you begin to show up into the world, right? The moment you begin to show up into the world as your best self, you present your best self to the world, right? You're no longer afraid of being disliked. You're no longer, or you no longer have the need to be loved and accepted by someone else. That is when you truly begin to walk in your power. As long as you're going throughout this world and you're looking to be accepted, then you're always going to be a puppet. You're always going to be someone that people can push around, right? And this is why I say this very often, that you cannot allow someone else's perception of you, or someone else's, I guess, validation, or the way in which they perceive you, to be the thing that you use to validate yourself, right? Because you have to understand that if someone else's words can take you up here, then their criticism, right, then their disapproval will take you down here as well, right? I think it was Sir Isaac Newton that says, for every force there is an equal and opposite force, right? If someone is your source of validation and acceptance, if you're looking for someone to prove you're worthy, right? And if you feed off their words and their actions so that you can feel good, then whenever they're not giving that to you, you always feel as if deep down, you're hurting inside. You always feel to some degree some uneasiness and some unworthiness within, right? You have to be your own source. You have to give to yourself whatever it is that you're expecting from them, right? And don't get me wrong, it's a hard process, right? It truly is a hard process. A lot of us have been taught, whether unconscious or consciously, that we always need to perform. We always need to perform, put on a mask and perform, right? Even when we were a child, even simple tasks such as your parents telling you that you need to do something, or you need to act a certain way to receive their love, or to receive something from them, right? Those small things, when we grow up, they begin to sort of, I guess, manifest themselves and come out in different ways, right? So we spend so much of our early years trying to be validated by our parents. And when we get older, that validation, shifts, to someone else, and mainly shifts to a romantic partner, right? It mainly shifts to, that person that we desire, right? So these things are deeply rooted in our psyche. But this is why awareness of them is so important. This is why you have to, you can't be afraid to face some uncomfortable parts of yourself. This is why you have to sit with yourself and ask yourself, why do I do the things that I do? Why am I trying to win this person over when I know deep down they don't like me? Why am I trying to, prove that I'm worthy to them? Why am I doing these things, right? You have to sit with yourself and ask yourself the right questions. I really believe the moment we begin to ask ourselves the right questions is the moment we begin to, receive the right answers, right? In the sense that if you sit down and you ask yourself the right questions of why you do what you do, then you will begin to get to the bottom of those things, and that's when true change begins, right? True change begins with awareness. Awareness of why you're trying to win someone else over. That's ridiculous. You're putting someone else on a high pedestal and you're putting yourself down here. That's crazy. Right? Performance isn't love. It's not. You came into this world to be you, to be the best version of yourself. And through being the best version of yourself, you attract everything that is meant for you. You didn't come here to perform. You didn't come here to win people over, right? No, that's ridiculous. Look at yourself and ask yourself, why do you feel as if you need this person's acceptance? Is it truly their acceptance you need, or is it your acceptance? Is it truly their love that you need, or is it your love? Is it their validation that you need, or is it your validation? You really have to ask yourself the right questions. right? Change begins with being brave enough to ask yourself the right questions, to face yourself. Why are you performing? I had to ask myself that question as well. Why did I feel the need to sort of try to find out what this person likes just so I could sort of, fit what they like? Why do I, you know, give someone so much space in my mind when I know deep down they really don't like me, right? Why do I feel the need to win this person over as if I'm not good enough? As if I'm not worthy enough? As if I'm not worth something? I had to ask myself those uncomfortable questions. But through asking myself those questions, I got to a place in which I realized that all of it was just coming from my own insecurities. All of it was just coming from the fact that I thought deep down I wasn't good enough. All of it came from my lack of self-love. And this is why I made my channel about self-love. I really believe the moment we start to fix the relationships with ourselves, right? Sit with ourselves and ask ourselves the right questions. That's when we can truly begin to change, right? Change begins with recognizing that you don't need anyone else's love but your own. Change begins once you realize that you don't need anyone else's acceptance but your own. Change begins with walking in your light, with being who you are meant to be. And through doing that, you attract all the abundance that you desire into your life. A lot of y'all are holding on to people, right? Holding on to people in your mind, trying to get them to stay. That's crazy. Let them go. How can abundance flow into your life when you hold on to scarcity? How can the person that is meant for you, come into your life if you're holding on to someone that's not meant for you? In order for you to have the person that is for you, you have to, make space for the right person to come into your life by letting go of the person that you're holding on to. That truly is the only way. As long as you hold on to something that is not for you, then what is for you cannot make its way to you. Let them go. The other day I was having a conversation, right, with, I'm not going to say who this person is, right? And they said to me that the moment they let go of what wasn't for them is the moment they found what was truly theirs, and the person that was truly theirs came into their lives. A lot of y'all are delaying your blessings by holding on to people that are not for you. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. Let them go. Right? You're worthy of love. You are worthy of love. Why do you feel the need to perform? Why do you feel the need to, chase after someone who doesn't see value in you? You don't need to do any of that. All you need to do is to be you and to be comfortable being you. One of the greatest skills that you can develop in this life is to be comfortable being disliked. Is to be comfortable knowing that not everyone is going to see value in you, and that's okay, right? Not everyone is meant to see value in you, right? Some people, like gold. I'm not even wearing my gold chain right now. That's crazy. Some people like gold. Some people like silver. Some people like the color black. Some people like, the color red. People like different things, right? And just because people don't like a particular thing doesn't mean that thing isn't valuable, right? It's valuable to those who see value in it. So you will be valuable to someone else. But before you think about being valuable to someone else, ask yourself, am I valuable to me? Do I love me? Right? That's the real question. Because everything flows from recognizing your own value. The quality of your life depends on your ability to recognize your own value. And I'm learning that every day, right? Sometimes I mess up and I find myself questioning myself, right? And I have to pull myself together and, and recognize that no matter what happens out here, it shouldn't affect how I feel about myself in here, right? That's something I'm learning every day, and it is a journey, right? Self-love is a journey. Getting to that place in which you fully accept yourself, you're fully confident in yourself, is truly a journey. But it is a journey that begins with awareness. It is a journey that begins with letting go what is not for you. It is a journey that begins with you stop chasing after other people's validation, other people's love, and recognizing that your love and your validation is truly the only thing that you need. It truly is. Right? So if you're in a situation right now where you're holding on to someone and you know deep down in your heart that they aren't for you, or if you're in a situation in which you're performing simply to be loved and liked by someone else, let them go. Stop it. Right? Performance isn't love. And even if you mold yourself momentarily, into what you think they like, it won't be long until that mask comes off. And they won't like the authentic you. But once you start showing up as yourself, you get comfortable being yourself, you present yourself to the world, you will attract the right people for you. And you won't have to worry about winning them over. All you have to do is simply be you. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace and blessings.